meeting of the Jacksonville Beach Board of Adjustment to order. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Alexa Gonzalez. Here. John Moreland.
Here.
Francis Reddington.
Here.
Jeff Trueheart.
Here.
Owen Curley.
Here.
Dan Elmore.
Here. Okay, I have had no ex parte communications with anyone regarding any of the issues before us tonight.
I've had none.
I've had none.
I've had one from Janelle Wilson contacted me about BOA 21-1000092, be concerned about the side setbacks.
I've had none.
I believe I spoke to that gentleman as a neighbor of mine, and
A while back, yeah.
it's been a while though, yeah.
Before the lot was sold.
Yeah, but that's part of it, yeah, you're right.
Can I sent an email, and did anybody get it?
What's your name?
Pete Gomorowski?
Yes.
It was received? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It will be read.
Okay, no problem. I wasn't sure of, okay.
We have minutes to approve tonight for the meeting of July the 6th.
Motion.
I move we approve the minutes from July 6th.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
We have correspondence that may be read at the appropriate place in our agenda. We have no old business, so we can go to our first item of new business.
Board calls case number BOA number 21-100087, applicant owner Elizabeth A. Borders, property address 2612 America Avenue, parcel ID 181076-1128, legal description lot 78, Constitution Code Unit 2, current zoning RS2. Motion to consider a variance from Land Development Code Sections 34-337E1C2 for a side yard setback of 3.5 feet in lieu of 5 feet minimum, and total side yards of 11 feet in lieu of 15 feet required, and 34-337E1G for an accessory structure wooden deck setback of 1.2 feet in lieu of 5 feet minimum, both to existing nonconformities. 34-337E1C3 for a rear yard setback of 15 feet in lieu of 30 feet required, and 34-337E1E for lot coverage of 49.7% in lieu of 35% maximum to allow for construction of a new 480 square foot addition to an existing single-family dwelling.
Would you please allow yourself to be sworn in?
If I could have you raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
And if I could have you state your name and address for the record.
To the mic. Right. Elizabeth Borders. Wait, can I adjust?
Please.
Elizabeth Borders, 2612 America Avenue, Jacksonville Beach, Florida.
And can you please help the board understand what the nature of the hardship is that is created by your lot?
Yes. So that is created by the lot specifically. So when I purchased the home in 2013, the home was built in the 70s and it already had some existing nonconformities. The lot coverage as is today is over 50%. And if you'll kind of notice, it's kind of oddly shaped. It's also, from what I understand, to be slightly substandard to the RS2 requirements. And so those were existing nonconformities when I bought the house in 2013. The proposed addition actually will reduce the lot coverage. If you'll notice, there's the pavers and side deck. Some on the left-hand side would be eliminated. So as again today it's over 50%. With the proposed addition, the coverage would be reduced to 49.7%. Just a kind of a side note there. It's not specifically a lot hardship. But a lot of this is driven by the fact that me and my husband both were not working from home prior to 2020. And now we both work from home, so this would allow us to actually stay in this home without having to move out of the neighborhood. My daughter goes to Steve Breeze, and we walk her or ride our bikes to school every day, and that's why we'd like to stay.
Did you have the pool? The pool was there in 2013.
The pool was there in
And
2013.
the papers were there in 2013?
The papers were there in
Okay, so
2013.
existing on 2013 for the house and the lockout.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And you've made no other additions since buying the house?
Additions,
Or paved anything, laid pavers?
just like do you see like the wood deck on the side? Or like where we keep our trash cans?
Mhm.
We built like some wood there so they weren't in the grass. And I think that counts as coverage, I don't know.
It does.
And then we like redid it. So there were pavers that were existing, but we like updated we gave everything a refresh. But we didn't like expand.
Except for the wood deck.
Except for the wood, yeah, sorry, yeah.
So you did have the wood deck left of the papers?
No, not left it, well, there were pavers there previously,
So-
but,
Okay.
so, yeah, we didn't change the coverage of our backyard. We did add where the trash cans are on the,
She's
upper
talking about
left-hand
this,
side.
This little strip right here.
Right, use that one.
Yeah,
No.
No.
no, like,
This right here.
where we keep the
This
trash
tiny
cans, yeah.
thin strip.
Yeah, that was the only thing that added coverage to our lot.
And what is your current lot coverage with all that there?
I believe it is 50,
27,
yeah, 50.7 or something, or around there.
50.3.
50.3, yeah.
So the pavers that were around the pool were already there when you bought the house,
Yes.
and you're just adding what says the addition.
Yeah, so we're gonna add the addition, and then that's gonna eliminate the wood deck and maybe even a portion of the pavers there, so that's what's gonna reduce the coverage. Oh, and I wanna add that we do, from our surrounding neighbors, we have 100%, yeah.
Excellent work on that.
Yeah, we love
You're
our
coming every way.
neighbors.
Jason, left, right?
Yeah.
Any more questions for her?
I have none.
You may be seated.
We have one card, Ken Mather?
Marsh.
Sorry, now I see it. I see it now, Ken Marsh, address, 2011 Gale Avenue, okay.
I need to work
Perhaps
on my
we-
penmanship.
Maybe I just need my glasses on.
If I could have you raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God?
I do. Ken Marsh, 2011 Gale Avenue. I just wanted to let this board know that I witnessed firsthand the difficulties that the boarders, as well as many folks working at home, have now due to the COVID pandemic, where you're trying to live and work both at home. Many of you might know that I ran for council in 2020, and Jamie, Elizabeth's husband, was my marketing design person for my posters, my signs, and my mailers. So I worked pretty close with him, and oftentimes I had to go to their house. So I saw firsthand what it's like when you're trying to do business in an open, confined area. So I just would ask this board to be sympathetic to this new world order that we have, where folks now are working at home and trying to live at home. And so it truly is a challenge and it's difficult. Thank you.
That's it? Okay. There are no other people who have requested the opportunity to speak about this. I close the public hearing and bring it back to the board.
Well, I'm actually, the individual letters from neighbors.
Oh, okay. We need to read those in.
Okay, sorry. So I'll just read their names and addresses. Anderson of 2610 America Avenue, in support. Lucas Crespi of 2700 America Avenue, in support. Gary Walker, 2607 Independence Drive, in support. Lorraine McKee, 2605 Independence Drive, in support. Yes, in support. Andrew Kloss, owner 2702 America Avenue, in support. Diane Fields, 2607 America Avenue, in support. Alice Johnson, 2608 America Avenue, in support. Michael Stewart, 2611 America Avenue, in support. William and Lena Carlson, 2517 Independence Drive, in support. Alexander Stout, 2510 Independence Drive, in support. And Ian Sneed, 2504 America Avenue, in support of the application.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Any discussion?
I guess I had one question, which I guess I should have asked, the applicant. It says additional side yard setback of 3.5 in lieu of 7.5. Is that the wood deck? Which appears to be one foot off of the property line.
That would be the wooden decks.
But the 7.5 I know is on the,
3.5, it looks like it's down here by the AC pad. Slightly below that.
but the reality is, am I wrong? It's a 1 foot, 2 foot setback on the side.
Christian, is there
That's
not an issue with that? With this slender piece of wood decking? It's only 1.2 feet from the property line. And then this down here is 3.5, but the 1.2 doesn't seem to be accounted for.
But the applicant's asking for 3.5, so I'm just wondering if we give 3.5, then the next,
The deck's under 34, 33, 7C, 1.7 with 5 feet. That's the accessory structure of the deck. The 1, 2, the second one. I think you're asking where's the 3, 5 in lieu of the 5 on the side yard. I'm trying to find that myself right now.
Isn't that this right
Is that
here?
the building itself? That's the physical building on the corner then.
Yeah.
The accessory structure is the deck, is the 1.7. The building itself is, looks like it's 3.5 instead of 5. That's been there, it looks like.
Yeah,
There's just no markings on it.
those are the existing non-conformities that we were,
Inherent.
yeah.
And you're gonna remove it.
Well,
No,
no,
this,
the
the
garage.
the home.
The home is at an like it was built at this weird angle, and so you see the property line is the tip of our garage.
Can you talk into the microphone?
Oh,
so,
I think are you all talking about, the corner garage? 'Cause that's not going away.
Well, it is going away then.
The deck is going away, yes,
This deck right here, I think is what.
yes,
she's
that's
referring
going
to.
away,
This is remaining, and
Yeah, and
that
then-
3.5 is the corner right there.
yeah, and that existed, that's the existing non-conformity, weird angle.
I guess my question, Christian, is, if we agreed to this, would that 1.2 wooden deck up in the upper left, you see the 1.2?
That's right here.
Yes, right there.
Does that have to shift back to 3.5 to meet the new?
No, that would be
1, 2,
the,
accessory.
yeah, the accessory request. The 337
Setback, yeah.
E1G.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are we back to close? Okay. I mean, I'm supportive because I see it is inherited a lot. So, I mean, I wish the one deck wasn't 1, 2, but I guess getting neighbors supporting adjacent each side, I guess there's not an issue with that report. That's one concern before I have.
They're at a weird angle too, so
I would like just to point out that the fact that you and your husband are working from home is absolutely irrelevant. We have to define hardship by the land development code. And working at home is not listed as one of the criteria for hardship. The angle of your house might be a legitimate hardship. But for future reference for anybody here, illnesses in the family, special piece of property to Jacksonville Beach.
Especially a lot that is 3,500 square feet, we're very close to it.
But bringing it under 50 is nice.
And I think that not only the way that the house is situated, sort of crooked on the lot, which, you know, they inherited that issue, but also, I believe the lot is, 15 feet undersized in width?
Is it 15?
It's a minimum width of 90 and the home is only 75,
Okay, so there's a width, okay, you're right.
which really, you know, addresses all of the side yard setback issues.
This house was driven probably when they all just driveway after they built it. Cool.
Well, I make a motion that we approve BOA number 21-10087 based on the standards for variance as outlined in the land development code.
Second?
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion on the motion? May we please have a roll call vote?
Alexi Gonzalez,
Yes.
Francis Bennington,
No,
Jeff Truitt,
Yes.
Owen Crowley,
Yes.
John Mormon.
No. Your variance request has been approved. Next item on the agenda, please.
Board calls case number BOA number 21-100092, applicant Alex Harden, owner Christian Allen, property address 21st Avenue South, parcel ID 179379-0040, legal description lot 4, except the westerly 5 feet thereof, block L, Permenters replat of South Pablo or Atlantic Campgrounds. Current zoning RM2. Motion to consider a variance from Land Development Code sections 34-338E1C1 for a front yard setback of 15 feet in lieu of 20 feet minimum. 34-338E1C2 for corner side yard setbacks of 4 feet, cantilevered floor or deck, and 6 feet principal structure in lieu of 10 feet minimum, and total side yards of 9 feet in lieu of 15 feet required. 34-338E1C3 for rear yard setbacks of 7 feet, cantilevered floor or deck, and 10 feet principal structure in lieu of 30 feet minimum. 34-338E1E for lot coverage of 50% in lieu of 35% maximum, all to allow for construction of a new single-family dwelling on a vacant lot located in an RM2 zoning district.
Will you please allow yourself to be sworn in?
If I could have you raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
I need you to state your name and address for the record, please.
Alex Harden, 1431 River Place Boulevard, Jacksonville, Florida. So the hardship on this lot is directly due to the lot size. Actually, all the lots in this area, mainly south of 16th Avenue South and east of Huguenot Park, are all part of the same plat. Most of the lots in this area are lots of record that aren't already multifamily. The lots in the plat were 40 by 70. And this lot in particular was involved in a taking for the extension of First Street. So our lot is 40 by 65. And while it is a multifamily zoning district, a lot of the lots around this intersection of First and 21st are single-family homes, a lot of which already got variances at some point or another for setbacks or lot coverage, because all of the lots, which are lots of record, are substandard. The handout I just gave you, page 1 of it, is just a copy of the site plan. The one that I saw in the agenda packet was a little blurry, just make sure you can read it. This is actually a revised site plan that is St. Christian. We wanted to stay under 50% lot coverage, so we incorporated pervious pavers for the walkways and driveways. If you see a chart near the bottom, you see it's actually 40% for the impervious ratio. On page 2, I included the plans for the exterior of the building. This is just to show the design as well as the cantilever balconies that were discussed, and the mix of materials that we're going to use that we think will complement the other single-family homes there. And then on page 3 is actually a map showing other single-family homes in the area that have reduced setbacks and lot coverages. And this is just to highlight that the lots in this area, which are lots of record, it's very difficult to comply with the strict requirements of the code to build a single-family home, and also to show that the landowner here isn't getting any special privileges. With that, I'll stand by the staff report and their findings that we meet the criteria, but I'm happy to stand by for questions.
Where did you get this information from?
Which information? Building permits.
The building permit had these people? that they got?
I'm sorry?
Talking about you said these side setbacks and rear yard setbacks.
Correct.
You got those on, you applied for a building permit and you got these?
No. So instead of going through the process of trying to get every single variance and use all the time of the staff, I just went and got the building layouts that were built and looked at the lot sizes and calculated the total setbacks.
You do know that your driveway is only 16 feet long, right? Right.
Is that a
15 feet, I think.
Well, 15, 16, you know, is that normal for a driveway? I
No,
thought it was
no,
20
sir.
feet. I thought it was 20 feet for the length.
yes, sir. I understand. That's why it's part of the variance application.
Just so I heard what you just said just a moment ago, your first page here has 47.6, your application is for 50, is that correct?
That's correct. So
But you're revising your application, in a discussion form right now at 47.6, or are you looking for 50?
we sent the revised site plan several weeks back, but the hearing for this night was already noticed at that point, so it was too late to change the request from 50%. But this site plan is included in your agenda packet, but it is a little blurry. It should be right behind the application.
And Brent, just looking at the drawings, one of the largest AC pads I've ever seen, is that a deck?
That is a big issue.
I like orange.
You have free air conditioning?
No.
I built two of these real close, right around the corner from you. I didn't make your list here, but to Francis' point, in both cases, particularly with the corner lot, they have required us to be 18 feet back. And it's just a site clearance issue, and I think one of these letters talks to that point. And the tendency, I guess what's happening here is that's a deck that is 8 feet off of the adjacent southerly property line. Looking at 8.8 feet and 2 inches. Is that a cantilever deck on the
Correct.
back rear of the house?
It's a two-foot cantilever deck.
2 feet.
That cantilever goes over to the street, is that correct? It doesn't point toward the lot, it points, cantilevers.
Looks like both.
Well, they're trying to find a cantilever on the other side. See the cantilever here. Oh, that one, okay, that one, okay, over here, that thing, no, that thing.
So that, I mean, just living in that neighborhood, that does create with the traffic on First Street, particularly during the summer. It's a tough site clearance issue on that corner with a 15-foot driving curve.
Right, and the 5 feet right there that was taken for the right of way is kind of what creates that difficulty in making the width of the.
It has always been thus.
Yeah, I saw in the comments that there was widening of First Street.
Correct, there's
When did that
a
happen?
eminent domain.
That was-
I didn't get the date on that,
That's a long time ago, right?
Real.
Okay, thank you, it's not
You
recent.
know, John?
not last year.
Well, it's not like when they did all these construction down there for sewage.
There you
No,
go.
no, never mind, that's an inside question, so are you aware of this?
You know, heaven, I don't have any other questions.
Yeah, I think it was, I read the attachments, but we don't know if they're non-conforming, never approved for that, or just old circa homes there, so it's hard for me to use that as a reference for houses that are above 50. Let's try to look at what we have.
There was just one other point. So it looked like you said it's either a cantilever for a deck or a home. Which one is it?
Could you, I'm trying to follow along, I'm sorry.
Okay, let me find it. It says rear setback of 7 feet. It says cantilever floor or deck. So cantilever floor suggests to me that the actual structure is coming out, not just a deck. Not just an opening.
It is a cantilever balcony. That language, I believe, was provided by staff because it might have been a little hard for them to understand what it was just from the site plan. But if you look on the second page of the handout I gave you, you can see the exterior features.
Yeah,
It looks on the south,
Yeah,
the
sure,
south,
the drawing.
Yeah, try to do the elevation, which you're looking at both sides, so it's, the deck is still pushes out the whole thing, it's not just open, it's got the side doors. How many square feet is this house? And,
15.
that house is like, this is probably at least,
Like 1362,
this is a single family, right?
are we in that range?
See, it's 45, 1910.
Yeah, okay, it's not relevant, I'm just kind of curious.
Are you
Are you asking questions or are you?
Yeah, question.
No, I'm just talking.
I was just curious how big the house was, if you knew, the square feet.
I can get back to the plans when I get back to my seat, when I come back, so
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
sure I can address that.
Thank you.
It's 40 by 30, so it's.
Okay. Steve, you're going to be seated.
Thank you.
I believe we have a number of.
We do. Brian Mahan, 2076 First Street South, Jacksonville Beach, Florida, wishes to address the board.
Would you please allow yourself to be sworn in?
If I may have you raise your right hand, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And I need you to state your name and address for the record, please.
Brian Mon, 2076 First Street South, Jacksonville Beach, Florida.
Thank you.
I think I share some of the same concerns that I heard in some of the questioning. I just feel like it's,
Are you for or against?
I'm
Oh,
opposed.
sorry, he's opposed.
Yeah, I'm opposed. So, I don't think I'll waste your time. I think it's pretty obvious.
No, it was, that's good.
We just say
It's good to see the public involved.
Thank you.
There's a card from the applicant, Alex Harden, who wishes to address the board, but I think that already happened in support of the agenda item. Janelle Wilson, 2014 South Oceanfront, Jacksonville Beach, wishes to address the board, and she is opposed to the agenda item.
Good evening. I'm Janelle Wilson, 2014 South Oceanfront Drive, Jacksonville Beach.
Ms. Wilson, if I could have you raise your right hand.
Sorry.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And I'll have you state your name and address again for me. Thank you.
Okay, sorry about that. Janelle Wilson, 2014 South Oceanfront Drive, Jacksonville Beach. As a neighbor of the subject property, I feel that the variance requested are excessive. There are several reasons for this. This is a corner lot, and it's a high-traffic area, not only with vehicles, but you've got people going to the beach, you've got bicycles, you've got golf carts, you've got strollers, all kinds of people going and coming from the beach. Allowing these variances would impede the line of sight at that intersection, so I think it would cause a more dangerous situation there. Secondly, granting these variances would also infringe on the neighborhood with neighboring properties, and the cantilevered area would almost be just a few feet from existing property that's there. So this would be an infringement of their private property rights. Parking is very limited in the area, and building closer to the street and then reducing the setbacks would also cause hardship of parking even for the property owner there. And then, as the property owners just purchased this property recently, I think it was December of 2020, they should have known and been aware of the setbacks required when they purchased the property, or been willing to build according to the setbacks. So, as being in the real estate business, when I'm advising people that are buying, I always ask them, can you build what you want on this property? And if not, you need to get variances that you want before you buy the property, not after you bought the property. So therefore, I feel that this is not a hardship case, and I urge you to vote no on these variances. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next card is from Pete Komorowski, 2008 Ocean Drive South, wishes to address the board about the agenda item.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
And I'm going to have you state your name and address for the record.
Pete Komorowski, 2008 Ocean Drive South. I'm actually the brown house. I guess I see an aerial photo here. that was passed around.
Right.
Yep. You're
We're on the corner, we butt up to the back
Yeah,
of
back.
where this property is. In my opinion, that this is pretty excessive. As Janelle mentioned, the right of way on 21st Street, that is heavily foot traffic back and forth to the beach. It is one of the main arteries to the beach because we have a crossover at the end. And if you're gonna push your house out closer to that, and that intersection is very busy along with the stop sign in front of my house. And then also the backyard, I was looking at some old plans here, I didn't realize there were some revised ones, but it's still not, I'm not sure with that the picture on the right there, with that porch, and then you got a cantilever out on it, how many stories is this place? Three stories. So is that gonna be two more balconies up top, cantilevered out? And then you're gonna have your trusses on top, and then you've got a roof line that extends another 14 inches out off of that. So now that actually puts that how many more feet closer to the property line? And then, like you said, the AC pad. This is just, it's a lot for that lot, it's a lot. Has everybody driven down around there? And so you're familiar with Keyser's place, the White House on the corner with all the garbage cans? The duplex that was just bought across the street, that guy's trying to fix it up. But this is a lot coverage for that lot. And you just, like I said, I worry about roof lines and above our garage is our master bedroom. And I'm looking at these cantilevered floors and porches, and they're gonna be able to just knock on our window. So I'm a little worried about that. And when they buy these lots, they should know. These lots are, these were plotted out years and years ago for like that little brown house. Now I know progress and everything is coming along in these houses, everybody's building up 3 stories house, but you gotta understand when you buy these lots, this isn't automatic, I don't think, to get these things passed. But that's pretty much all I've got. You've got my letter.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Those are all the cards, and then there are 2 letters to the Board of Adjustment members. As a neighbor of the subject property, this application is excessive and variance is requested. This is a corner lot with a lot of traffic, including pedestrians, bikes, golf carts, etc., with people going to the beach. Reducing the required setbacks would impede the line of sight at that intersection and create more dangerous conditions. Granting these variances would also infringe on the neighboring property, as the cantilevered portion would be very close to the existing building. This would be an infringement on their private property rights. Parking is very limited in that area, and allowing these variances would cause more problems with parking for the owners of the property. As the owners just purchased the property recently, December 2020, they should have been aware of the required setbacks and plan to build accordingly, being in the real estate business. Sorry, I'll just skip to the end. She pretty much summarized this when she spoke. Thanks for your consideration, Janelle Wilson. I urge you to please vote no on this application, Janelle Wilson. And then a letter from Mr. Komorowski. Thanks for your time and consideration in this matter. I'm writing this in reference to the variance being considered on this property. As you know, I'm hoping the board votes this down and doesn't approve this. This is a small lot, as the purchaser knew when they purchased it. My problem is the lot coverage and then the cantilevered portions of the house. This would butt their windows and porches almost within reaching distance of our residence. 0 property lines are not how we want the neighborhood or the beaches to look. Also, the variance for this residence on 21st Avenue South is excessive. 21st Avenue South is a very busy road from First Street to Ocean Drive South and Ocean Front. Allowing this variance will limit visibility and affect traffic, especially if they park cars there. There is a flooding issue at this intersection, which we're all aware about, so you'd now be doing away with much needed pervious ground by allowing so much lot coverage. Members, as you can tell, my vote for this is no. Please consider my opinion, as I've lived in this residence for 23 years. Thanks, Pete Komorowski. And that's it.
Would you like to come back and make a rebuttal for these comments?
Yes, just a few answers. I don't have the total square footage. I believe it's just over or just under 3,000. And I will say that the balconies are just 2-foot cantilevered floors. These are not full balconies. They don't encroach on the neighbor's land. Additionally, this is not a request that is not uncommon in this area. There's the lots right behind us have lot coverages of over 50%, and total side yard setbacks are less than what we're requesting. This is a substandard lot, even more substandard than the ones next to us. That doesn't defeat our opportunity to build on the property. If you guys have any further questions, I'm happy to address anything.
You may be seated.
Thank you.
I'm bringing the public hearing to a close and bringing the matter back to the board.
Well, for sure, it's nice to see a single-family house going on right now. It's positive, less density. But I do feel that this is probably excessive for the lot of the best building.
This, I agree, this lot is very substandard, but, and here's the but. I have a problem, first of all, with the driveway being 15 feet in length. It's two cars when you fit there, but you know when I got it, there's going to be cars parking behind them, because they're not going to be parking their cars in the garage, because that's a storage area, we've always been through this before. And what are we voting on? It says 50%, and then on this it says 49.4%. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, he said that he can get by with
You can have
Yeah, so-
47.6.
Yeah, 47.6.
Okay, I just, wasting my opinion.
This seems to be a lot.
I've built, two of these on exact same lots, and I feel, I agree with you, Francis, it's excessive. On a corner, you really need 18 feet, and on a back 10, and particularly on the side, and 5. You could build a pretty big house if you'll
Yes, the front
amend
yard-
that.
Yeah, the front yard setbacks is,
You could put a Tahoe parked on that corner over there, and you're just not gonna be able to see a biker going by or a pedestrian.
Or anybody.
So, just seems a little excessive to me.
Well, I agree with the, what you both said about the driveway, but I think that, I don't know, my opinion is that the percentage of lot coverage he's asking doesn't seem, based on the size of the lot, doesn't seem totally out of reason, especially when you look at, he's more in line with, a lot of the other lot coverages that have been granted, and the gentleman who spoke actually has more lot coverage.
May I speak?
As far as the public hearing's over.
I tried to ask that before you closed it.
I concur with the sense of this lot coverage, it's just that side setback and the front setbacks. I mean, this is a large house, I think they could make some, pull it in a little bit.
If anybody would like to make a motion, Chair would be glad to entertain it.
I would like to make a motion. I make a motion to deny application BOA 21-1000092. Special conditions certain exist which are peculiar to this parcel name or structure, and which are not applicable to other parcel names, for the building in the same area. That's it.
Okay. Is there a second to the
I'll
motion?
second.
Been moved and seconded, any discussion?
I move to modify the motion to include failure to meet standard number 2, the special conditions and circumstances do result from the actions of the applicant, and that the design is a self-imposed hardship.
Is there a second?
I'll second that too.
Thank you.
Favorable. Did we have a vote on the amendment to the motion?
And before we go, please make sure we have clarity.
Yes, needs, no.
Well, actually, the amendment to the motion is the elaboration of the criteria.
That's still denying the variance.
No, we'll vote on that after we vote on this.
Oh.
Thank you.
Oh, you want to repeat your modification?
Yes, so my amendment to the motion is that it's the failure to meet standard number 2. Standard number 2 is special circumstances and conditions do not result from the actions of the applicant, but in this case, the design is a self-imposed hardship.
So what are we voting on first?
We're voting on whether or not the design, whether or not it's a violation of I'm sorry, yes, Owen's motion, the Ocean's amendment. Okay, we have a roll call vote on the motion to amend the original motion?
Alexi Gonzalez,
Yes.
Francis Reddington,
Yes.
Jeff Trular,
Yes.
Owen Curley,
Yes.
John Moran.
Yes. Okay, so the amendment stands. May we now have a reading of the actual motion that we will be voting on?
I have a motion to deny the application.
So if you are in agreement with the motion, we vote yes. If you are in disagreement, the vote would be no. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Francis Reddington,
Yes.
Jeff Trular,
Yes.
Alexi Gonzalez,
No.
Owen Curley,
Yes.
John Moran.
Yes. Okay, your request has been denied. Next item?
Board calls case number BOA number 21-100093, applicant owner Bradley Cook, property address 1703 Seabreeze Avenue, parcel ID 179771-1114. Legal description, lot 57, block 15, Seabreeze Woods subdivision, current zoning RS1. Motion to consider a variance from Land Development Code sections 34-336E1E for lot coverage of 45% in lieu of 35% maximum to allow for construction of a new swimming pool and paver decking to an existing single-family dwelling.
Okay, will the applicant or agent please come forward? Allow yourself to be sworn.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
And if I could have you state your name and address for the record.
Bradley Cook, 1703 Seabreeze Avenue, Jacksonville Beach, Florida.
And if you can please describe the hardship created by your property?
The hardship comes from the home being built in, I believe, 1975, and the existing driveway and pavers were there. We bought it in 2017 or 2016, I believe, so we have not made any changes to the lot. We only asked to add a pool as well as a paver system or paver decking around it, which actually will include some of the existing pavers. Merely to add the surrounding decking, or I'm sorry, pavers, is to also allow to have more of a pool fence installed that we have 2 young children. That's all I got.
The lot is 10,000 square feet, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So it is a conforming lot.
It is, sir.
And you referenced the driveway causing the non-conformity. I'm just trying to understand how.
The driveway and the pavers that were there, that's just, it meets that about 35%, maybe shy a little bit. So the request is to add additional about 10% to just include the back decking to surround the pool with the new paver system.
Just for my record, how many feet does the pool have to be off the house? Is it 8 or 6?
Through the chair, 5 feet.
5 feet, okay, so I was looking at his dimensions pool, it's a large pool, I mean, trying to work with you here a little bit.
Have you started construction on any?
No, sir, this was new to me. I had no clue about this, I've been learning it myself. Did some research and found out that the variance request was necessary, so I went through the
Thank you for being in front of us instead of
Yes,
coming
sir.
back later.
Yes, sir.
When you scaled this pool deck out, was it just a rough scale, or was it recommended by the pool installer? I'm just trying to-
This was from the pool designer, the planner. He met with me, looked at the yard, did his measurements. This is his proposition that we went with.
Okay.
Who's the pool manufacturer? Your pool?
Island Pools is the company.
What is the dark area in the upper right-hand corner of the building?
That is the existing pavers. It comes right off the deck. That would be included, more or less, they're gonna replace the decking that's there, the pavers.
Just repave it, carry the whole area of space in.
Yes, sir.
That's existing, which you match between the pavers and the driveway on.
Yes, sir.
Second.
So really, it's just the surrounding pool dimensions is what's being added.
Trying to
Now,
get
is it possible that you can put in the
pavers?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess it could be. I could probably utilize a different type of, put something else there, something more permeable. The plan was to essentially replace those pavers.
Because this is like I said, it's tough for us to get to a hardship when this is a conforming lot. I'm trying to find something that would help us get to a hardship situation. Again, you look in the pool, it's a pretty large pool. I mean, the pool itself is fine, but just the decking around is pretty large.
And the issue is that really there's no hardship that you define.
I understand, coming to learn that the hardship falls under something that I think the lot is under 10,000.
Yeah, if you're on 10,000,
And then that 35% would be, yes,
Or
we're
2 narrow.
kind of right there, which,
Yeah,
so,
so, but how it's supposed to be built.
exactly. But the only thing I can add is my 2 or 3 existing neighbors have pools. And of course, that's prior, but there is a few, and I should have, after learning while they're seeing this, that I should have had some of them write in their opinions.
Only if they were in support.
I mean, speaking to them, they all asked, hey, what are you doing? Pool, pool. So,
It just seems like, to somebody else's point, I like where there's a lot of pavers there. It seems like there's an opportunity for less pavers.
I mean, if that's something that if that can be worked with the board, and I could justify that area right by the house with the existing, maybe use a different system.
We wouldn't be here to tell you how to design. We would sit there and say, this is the maximum we
Yes.
go on pervious surface. You figure out how to get to that.
I understand.
And actually, you know, I'm just sharing some interesting comments I've heard recently. People are starting to apply astroturf and semi-pervious pavers and different things around pools, which were new to us. We're kind of glad to hear that people have solutions other than pavers. So, you know, I'm just gonna, each percent is what, 100 square feet? Is that right? 1% equals 100 square feet, is that right? 10,000? Yeah.
So what is,
5%
what is the area of this existing patio? Does anybody better at math than I am?
It would work out to be about 400.
Yeah, I mean, probably
4%.
I think we might be able to come to 40%.
So maybe, yeah, maybe in
And
there.
maybe the math was just to kind of be broad, so I don't know if my math is.
It usually the
correct.
city follows up with what you see as the
Okay.
We don't want to see you have a problem, you start building it either.
Yes, sir.
We'll the city probably approves this stuff, but again, I mean, I guess our question is, what can you live with? Granted, we're still trying to create a variance that we're trying to find hardship on. Could you live with 40? It's like 45, your application's for 45. I'm not saying we'll pass it, but I'm just trying to have a conversation. It's a struggle with 45. Which should be 500 square feet, I think.
What we're trying to tell you is that, as it stands, we're probably not going to approve this. Because your lot is oversized, it's not substandard.
We all do feel like we should have a pool if they want a pool.
Pool is not the problem.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah, if we were to vote and approve an amended variance for, just for example, 40%, you could make up that lot coverage really anywhere you wanted. If you wanted to, you know, repave your driveway and some down, some there, or, you know, anything that's currently pervious.
Or just as one of those things Jeff suggested, the grass or the pervious pavers.
Different.
Lots of opportunities there.
Naturally, you go up to 50% according to what they said, yeah. Right, Kristen?
It's equal to 6%.
Yeah, 50% is the maximum grant that we would give, but there are
So
some
need a variance or anything.
In grass, I thought it was.
grass and astroturf and gravel would be considered 100% pervious, and, you know,
But the pervious, the semi-pervious pavers are the ones that are giving some credit, is that correct?
right, up to 50.
Up to 50% of the pavers, but I don't think it's a pool paver, but yeah, I'm here to design, that's not my comment. I was just trying to
Do
get you.
we have any more questions for the applicant?
I know,
Can you be seated?
Thank you, sir.
and there are no parts.
There are no cards, so I close the public hearing, bring it back to the board. For discussion and a motion, essentially. Pardon?
Included.
Make a motion to approve the remove swimming pool and paver deck to an existing single-family dwelling.
Second.
Been moved and seconded, any discussion? May we have a roll call vote, please?
Jeff Trular,
Yes.
Alexa Gonzalez,
Yes.
Francis Reddington,
Yes.
Owen Colwick,
Yes.
John Moreland.
No. Your request has been approved as modified. Do we have one more item?
We do. Case number BOA number 21-100094 and 21-100097, applicant owner BCEL 10 LLC, Adam Reigel, property address 0 4th Avenue North, parcel ID 174116-0005, legal description lot 10, block 55, Pablo Beach, current zoning RM1. Motion to consider a variance from Land Development Code Sections 34-339E1C1 for front yard setbacks of 5 feet cantilevered second floor and 14 feet principal structure in lieu of 20 feet minimum, and 34-339E1E for lot coverage of 41.7% in lieu of 35% maximum to allow for construction of a new two-family dwelling.
Okay, will the applicant or
Right here.
I'm not sure.
Unless it's that office or.
There is no applicant. Okay, we can go ahead and vote on this, or we can go ahead and carry it over for one meeting.
If we vote and turn it down, doesn't it have to reapply and pay the 500?
Yes.
Just trying to consider it, I think I read this.
Through the chair, technically, if you deny it, then they won't be able to reapply for a year.
Oh.
If it's the same.
Lose, lose.
Yeah, I think something happened. It's more my.
Make a motion that we push this out.
Second.
Out to our next
To the August 3rd meeting. Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
The motion is passed. Before we adjourn, Christian, I have a problem in that I spend a lot of time looking for 4th Avenue and 21st Avenue. And I've had it added over half an hour to my time going around looking at properties before I figured out that it's not 0 at all. Is there a way, and this is not the first time the city's done this, is there a way that we can eliminate zeros when in fact they are in the 400 block? Or,
We can certainly give you a reference. The issue is that a vacant lot technically doesn't have an address if there's no structure. Because they don't address it until there's a building permit. So we can certainly give you a block reference or adjoining property addresses or something to that extent.
I would agree.
You know, and I have a problem with that too, but when I did both of them actually, the first one on 21st, I found it by accident because I thought it was down at the end of the road and it wasn't going, look at all this and whatever. And I'm turning around and coming back and I saw the corner and it was on.
Yeah.
And on the other one, I looked at the presentation where it was, and it showed between 4th and 5th Street. Okay, that's how I found it.
Yeah, and I was just looking off, the address is here. But if the city could do that, I would appreciate it.
Yeah, just make it easy.
Well, this is west, because that survey was hard for my old eyes to make out.
I think there was a communication of emails that were between us, between somebody to make it. I mean, can we update that? There's people on there that we ran that list. I mean, I wish I could spearhead that. Right now, if I miss an email, or miss a meeting, we send an email to each other. Is that effective? Is that acceptable in sunshine regulation? Or we have to call?
Technically, if you're going to correspond,
No, correspond, I knew that. Just we can't make a meeting.
email the staff and we can disseminate that information to the board.
Okay.
You
So
technically shouldn't be
I
communicating.
wanted to clarify that
Yeah.
question. I know it's part of the training. I forgot.
Good question.
Actually, that occurred to me, but it's-
Yeah, I know we shouldn't say anything because like, it's always all right, so moving to staff.
Our next meeting is Tuesday, the 3rd of August, and we have 4 and possibly now 5 cases scheduled.
50-50 chance for me.
Does he
Or
automatically,
Naples or to be here. I don't know.
as this been automatically go into the next August 3rd meeting?
I'd have to check the regulations. It's pretty common that if an applicant is present, a board will defer. It's not necessarily in your regulations that you do that, but
But we did vote
Shay.
to.
At this point, you made a motion to, so.
Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
That's adjourned.
Thank you.